What motivated you to start working in the field of scientific research?
When I was in high school, I did a lot of science types of things, and I really enjoyed them. And so then I went to college, and I thought I would do physics at that point. But I got a little bit distracted because there was a war going on in Vietnam, and they had a lottery, and I got a terrible number. So I was going to wind up in the jungle. And I said, no, 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 no. I have to get a medical deferment. I'm not going into the army. So I switched into the medical program where I was at school at Brown University. And it was like a 6-year medical program. And so then I really was hooked on biology and medicine. For me, about 8 or 9 years ago, I decided that no, I'm just going to work in the lab because that's the thing that's the dominant force in my life. I really enjoy working in the lab. I like seeing patients, and particularly I had genetic training where, you see a family with a particular genetic condition. It's almost like going to the bench. You never see the same thing twice. It's really fascinating, but it's very time consuming. And I think the power of seeing something that nobody's ever seen, that Mother Nature reveals to you, is a really magical feeling. The friendships that you make doing science last lifelong. Those are your closest friends in many respects.
Have you worked with Brazilian students or never?
Oh, so indirectly, I worked with some of Kurt Buttrich's students in San Diego. So I had a second lab in San Diego at Scripps Institute for a while. And Kurt had a number of Brazilian students who would come to our lab and we'd prepare NMR samples together. So the answer is a sort of yes, sort of. In San Diego, yes. I'm sure they like going to San Diego because the weather is a lot like that in Rio.
Do you think the international exchange of young students that aims to invest in research career is relevant? If so, why?
Yeah, no, I think student exchange is really a great idea. I think it's very valuable because I mean, science is an international linkage of all of us and all of our ideas with each other. And I think it's a wonderful experience to work in a different cultural setting and see how, because I mean, different cultures may have different ways of approaching particular problems. And that's kind of cool so that you can have multiple, you get new ideas about how things work.
In the course of your career, you already had the opportunity to work or meet someone you admire professionally.
So this is something really important. You've raised a very important question. So I would say the first one was really Tony Hunter when I was at the Salk Institute. So Tony was really willing to take the time to educate me, one-on-one. Here's how to hold a pipetter. Here's how to think about a problem.
Tony was your mentor?
He was really directly my mentor. There was also Walter Eckhart, who was a very good virologist, who was also very supportive. But Tony was the guy who was really the hands-on person that helped me out. And so he and I used to go play tennis all the time also. So every Friday afternoon we had a doubles game out on top of the cliffs in San Diego against two immunologists. And so we were very close personally, but scientifically he was clearly a mentoring force.
And the last one. We researched about your work and saw that you recently been involved with the amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. So, do you think the repercussion of ALS with the Ice Bucket Challenge was positive? Are people really conscious about the disease, or it's just a viral video?
Well, I think the Ice Bucket Challenge raised awareness, which is a good thing. I think a lot of people on the street really didn't have an idea of what ALS is. And actually, even after the bucket challenge, they may not really know what it is because it's so hard to think about being stuck inside yourself and unable to move. But I think a lot of people really did have a heightened awareness of what ALS is all about. Tony Jute, who was a famous U.S. historian who documented a lot of the events of the middle of the 20th century, said, ALS is a prison sentence, life in prison without any chance of parole. And I think that really describes it pretty well so far. I mean, until we come up with a therapy. So the sky's the limit, and you guys are going to see it. So I'm very excited for you.
If possible, can you send a message for Brazilian students who will watch you?
Sure. All my friends at FRJ and in Brazil, thank you so much for giving me only easy questions to answer today. The questions that Mother Nature throws at us are much harder to handle. But I wish you all the absolute best in your research careers. And I have to say, you're working in the most beautiful place on the earth. So please enjoy Rio for me as well. And I hope to get back there at some point and really get to say hello to everybody. But thank you so much for your interest, and I wish you the best of luck. But the most important thing with science, I would say, is follow your nose. Don't be afraid. Don't let your supervisor tell you you can't do this. You go ahead and do it anyway. And the most important thing is to have fun. So have fun with it.
We are very grateful to you.
It's a pleasure. You are the future. So, you guys deserve whatever you need. So drop me a line once in a while and let me know how things are going. Maybe we can do this again in 6 months or a year.
Of course.
And then we'll have to have caipirinhas together.
Yeah.